Chairman, and I would say for your benefit in your comments when you said that no one on your side of the aisle was considering a VAT tax, the Hill reported in October 9th of last year, quote, "A new value-added tax is on the table to help the U.S. address its fiscal liabilities," House Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Monday night, unquote. So either the Speaker is nobody or she has retracted her statement. I can't find any retraction. If you have, I would encourage you to set the record straight and submit that retraction to our committee. Chairman Bernanke, welcome to you. I have a few quotes I would like to read you and have you react to them. The first quote comes from the CEO of Verizon, head of the Business Roundtable, which represents, as you know, big employers in our nation, even Siedenberg. Quote, "By reaching into virtually every sector of economic life, government is injecting uncertainty into the marketplace and making it harder to raise capital and create new business." Bill Duncanberg, chief economist of the NFIB that represents small employers in America. Quote, "It's not just expectations on the tax rates per se, but just the cost of carrying labor under the health care bill, the promise and heavy discussion on a VAT, the deficits scare us to death. Everything that Congress seems to be thinking about is not helpful for small business." Tom Donahue, president of the Chamber of Commerce that represents both big and small employers, quote, "Look at the tax cost in the health care bill and the tax cost in the capital markets bill, and they add up to hundreds of billions of dollars. It is a fundamental uncertainty that is holding businesses back." Next, one of the most oft-cited economists by my Democratic colleagues, Dr. Mark Zandi, chief economist at Moody's, as reported in Bloomberg, said companies have been holding back on hiring. Banks are unsure how much extra capital regulators will require them to set aside. Power companies are waiting to see if government caps carbon emissions, and human resource departments are still parsing the impact of the 10-year health care overhaul Congress passed in March. My last quote in my first question, quote, "Uncertainty is seen to retard investment independently of considerations of risk or expected return. Introduction of uncertainty can be associated with slack investment, resolution of uncertainty with an investment boom." Do you know who wrote those words? And yes, it is a trick question.
I'm sure it was I who wrote those words. That was my, should have been anyway, that was my 1979 PhD thesis was on uncertainty in investment. So maybe it wasn't me, I don't know.
My research said 1980, but that's a very good memory, Chairman. Do you agree or disagree with yourself?
Well, first of all, I think that was an excellent thesis. And the notion that, firms making to look long-term commitments, whether it's to employment or capacity expansion or new business lines, obviously are concerned about the environment and about uncertainty.
Do you believe it is a significant impediment to job growth today?
It's going to sound like a dodge, but I can't really quantify it. I hear a lot from businesses that they're concerned
about. Yes, Mr. Chairman, it does.
But if you look at the facts, it's mixed. What you see, first of all, is as noted that firms are holding a lot of cash. That's true. It's also true they're not hiring very much. On the other hand, their investment in equipment and software has been pretty robust. So there are some mixed signals there, and I just don't know how big. I'm sure there's some effect there, and I think it's important. We don't need to measure the effect to take the lesson that whatever we can do to reduce uncertainty.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I could, one member's opinion, and certainly in speaking anywhere from Fortune 500 CEOs all the way down to small business people in the 5th District of Texas, when you speak that the Federal Reserve is prepared to perform other policy actions, frankly, whether you quit paying interest on bank reserves, whether you go from tripling your balance sheet to quadrupling it, quintupling it, you can set up negative real interest rates at the discount window, you can print money, and you can throw it out of airplanes. But this is not a challenge of monetary policy, Mr. Chairman. The problem is here with the United States Congress and the United States President. Now, I can't go back and relitigate legislation that I disagreed with, but I would hope that we could work together to try to render out some of the uncertainty that has been created that I believe the Federal Reserve itself says that public companies are sitting on almost $2 trillion of cash and cash equivalents, sitting on the sidelines, sitting in the stands and not being in the playing field to create jobs.
Gentleman's time has expired.